morning, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to another video. I hope you've been keeping so very well. I am really excited to be spending the day in the kitchen today. I'm going to be doing some meal prep for the week, and in doing so, sharing with you 6 of my favorite things to meal prep. So the 6 things we're going to be making today are these tofu chocolate and vanilla overnight oats, as well as a delicious lentil and walnut mince shepherd's pie, a tofu cream cheese that's perfect on bagels in the morning, my favorite banana choc chip muffins that I have been eating on repeat lately, these delicious peanut miso instant noodle jars, as well as some barbecue tempeh, which goes perfectly in my favorite sandwich that I love having for breakfast or for lunch. And I really enjoy prepping all 6 of these things for different reasons, which you will see throughout the video. But overall, I just hope that you at least have one new idea to try out at home and to try prepping for yourself. So let's get, well, I was about to say let's get into the kitchen, but we're already in the kitchen. So let's get into cooking and prepping our first meal for the day. So to make these tofu chocolate overnight oats, you start by putting some silken tofu into a mini food processor with some soy vanilla yogurt, some melted dark chocolate, some cacao powder and maple syrup. Now, if you've never seen tofu used in this way before, you might be thinking it's a little bit odd, and I understand because I felt the same when I first saw this as an idea, but over time I've come to really love it. The taste of the tofu is pretty well disguised by the chocolate, and it makes for a really good high protein breakfast. So once I have blended that all together, I'm going to transfer the tofu pudding in between the 2 glass jars, and then I'm going to place these into the fridge to set while I get started on the oats. So I'm putting some rolled oats as well as some soy milk, followed by some maple syrup and some vanilla into a large bowl, and mixing this all together until it's nice and well combined. Then I'm going to transfer this evenly between the 2 jars. As you can see, the tofu pudding has set pretty well, so we can just put these oats on top, put the lids on, and then put them in the fridge to enjoy throughout the week. This is a breakfast I love having when I'm on the go, or if I've got a day where I'm going to be out a lot and I want something that's going to keep me full and nourished. This is a really good option. These ones are quite a big serving size, so you can definitely split these into 4 portions if you would like to. I love a shepherd's pie so much, and I feel like this is honestly elevated with the lentil and walnut mince that I use because I love this mince so much. To make this, I start by cutting up some potatoes. I'm cutting the skin off and then cutting them into small pieces before putting them into a pot of boiling water over the heat. I never know a practical way to do this without splashing boiling water all over my hands, so please excuse that. But yeah, I leave the potatoes to boil away whilst I get started on the mince. So I am blitzing up some walnuts into a fine crumb. If you can get your hands on like walnut meal, you can definitely use that as well. And I'm going to set that to the side while I start prepping some onion as well. So I'm just using half an onion. I am dicing this into pieces, and with a shepherd's pie, there is a bit of versatility with adding which veggies you would like to, but I keep it pretty simple today. So I'm frying up that onion in some oil and also adding in some tomato paste, followed by the crumbled walnuts, and mixing this together well. Then I'm adding in soy sauce as well as some tinned tomatoes and mixing that together well before adding in some vegan beef stock as well as some brown lentils, and continuing to mix this together. Like I said, I kept it pretty simple with the veggies, just adding in some mixed frozen veggies into this and letting them heat up for a few minutes. Whilst that was cooking away on a low heat, I made my mashed potatoes with some cooked potatoes, some vegan butter, nutritional yeast, soy milk, and some salt and pepper. I mash this together until it's really nice and smooth, and then it's time to assemble our shepherd's pies. So I'm making 2 large shepherd's pies here. I am putting the lentil and walnut mince mixture in the bottom, topping it with that creamy mashed potato. I always like to drizzle the top with a little bit of olive oil to crisp it up a bit, and then I put these into the oven to bake for about 40 minutes. Once they were done, I removed them and allowed them to cool before putting lids onto them. I love these containers that you can like cook things in. I put the lids on and put these in the fridge to enjoy throughout the week. Okay, so I have just reheated one of the lentil and walnut mince shepherd's pies to have for my lunch today. And a quick note on the serving size, the recipe does make 4. I only had these really big containers left for my prep this week, so that's what I decided to use for this, but I will honestly eat probably half of this and then keep the rest in the fridge for another day. Just a quick note on that, and all the serving size and everything will be down in the description box just in case there's any confusion about anything that I have done at all. But yeah, let's get into this shepherd's pie. I'm honestly obsessed with lentil and walnut mince. It's my favorite way to make plant-based mince. Oh my god, wow, that is amazing. Whilst I'm here, I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Squarespace for sponsoring this video and making it possible. Most of you would already know that I love Squarespace so much, but if you're new here, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to market your business. I use Squarespace to host and design my website, and I absolutely love it. I love being able to do everything in one place, from blogging to launching products and services, having a space for people to see all of the creative work that I have done in one place, and much more. It is genuinely such a great tool for me and my business, and I always recommend it to anyone who ever asks me what they should use for launching and designing their own website. The answer is always Squarespace. If you'd like to try Squarespace out for yourself, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/AmandaDux and use my code, which is AmandaDux. It gets you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Anyway, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to enjoy my meal prepped lunch very much so, and I'm going to take you back a few days to when I was prepping this, and we'll get back on with the rest of the delicious food I was prepping for the week. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, there's no doubt you would have seen me make something similar to this, because it's been a staple of mine for a while. I start by cutting some tempeh into pieces, and then into a bowl put some oil, some soy sauce, barbecue sauce, onion powder, smoked paprika, nutritional yeast, and a little bit of maple syrup. And I'm going to mix this together until it is nice and well combined. And then I'm going to add in all of these pieces of tempeh. So I'm putting them all in, coating them well, and then I'm going to leave this to marinate for about half an hour to an hour before I cook it over the heat. Now, you can bake this if you would prefer, air fry if you would prefer. I just tend to cook most things over the heat like so that's the way I did, and I just flipped them over to get the tempeh nice and crispy on both sides. Once it was all cooked well, after about 10 to 15 minutes, I remove from the heat, dip in the leftover sauce, and then transfer this into a container to store in the fridge. And I know this might seem like a really simple and like basic thing to meal prep, but what I love about this is I have an instant protein source to have in a breakfast sandwich. And there's one breakfast sandwich in particular that I love so much. I'm having an English muffin here during the week when I decided to have one of these and film it, and I toast the English muffin. I'm going to slice up some fresh tomato. I've also got the tempeh, so I'm just getting a couple of pieces of the tempeh out to have on this breakfast sandwich. And then I'm also going to do some fresh lettuce on this as well. So I assemble it like so, put some vegan butter on, put the lettuce, the barbecue tempeh, followed by the tomato, and then I also put some vegan mayonnaise on this. I love having this for breakfast or for lunch, and I just find it to be a really simple way to have a really nourishing meal. So yeah, I love this and definitely recommend giving it a go. Now, next up, we're making this tofu cream cheese, and I'm going to be fully honest with you. If you do not like tofu, I definitely don't recommend making this. This is one for the tofu lovers. I start by putting some firm tofu, lemon juice, coconut oil, veggie stock powder, nutritional yeast, as well as some cracked black pepper and some soy milk into a food processor. I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to blitz this together until it gets nice and smooth. So you really can taste the tofu in this, but I really like like it once again as a high protein breakfast, and you can flavor this how you would like to. I put some fresh dill and chives into this one and just blitz this up for another 30 seconds or so to get that flavor throughout it. And I really like having this as, like, again, a really quick and easy on the go breakfast or snack. The tofu cream cheese comes out pretty creamy, and it's something that you can just grab and go from the fridge in the morning, or when you feel like you just need something and you're in a little bit of a rush. Honestly, one of my favorite ways to have this is in the mornings when I am feeling like I want to make breakfast in 15 minutes. I just cut open a bagel, put it onto toast, and then once it's toasted, load it up with some of the tofu cream cheese and get myself out the door. And honestly, it keeps me full for a really long time, and I just love it so much. So if you're a tofu lover, definitely give this one a go at home. I think you will really enjoy it. To make these peanut miso instant noodles, we're going to start by cutting up our green veggies. So I'm cutting up some pak choy as well as some broccoli, which tends to be my go-to veggies for this kind of meal. Then into a frying pan, I'm putting some oil as well as some corn kernels, followed by the broccoli and the pak choy, except not putting in the leaves of the pak choy just yet. So I'm going to fry this up for about 10 minutes, making sure to mix it as I go to get everything nice and evenly cooked. And once again, I encourage you to use your imagination here and use other veggies that you may have on hand that you think would go well in it. I'm also going to make the base of this soup, which is some peanut butter as well as some gochujang, some white miso paste, soy sauce, vegan chicken stock powder, and some water. And I whisk this together until it's nice and smooth and doesn't have any lumps in it. Then I've got these 2 jars which are perfect for this kind of instant noodles, and I'm going to evenly disperse this base of the soup between the 2 jars, add in some thin rice noodles, and then add in the veggies and making sure they are nice and evenly dispersed. I put these in the fridge for a rainy day, and when I feel like having some, all I do is put some boiling water in to about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way, mix this together, and then put the lid on and leave it to cook like you would instant noodles until the noodles are nice and soft and everything is ready to be eaten. Should take like 5 to 7 minutes, so I guess not as instant as instant noodles, but pretty good for a nourishing lunch or dinner. And yeah, I hope you love this one as much as I do. Now, of course, I couldn't do a meal prep video without a sweet treat because I am who I am, and today I'm going to show you these banana choc chip muffins I've been loving so much. But first I wanted to show you how I prep the muffin tin because I got a lot of questions about this last time. I make sure to grease it with some vegan butter, and then I cut some baking paper into these square pieces, and then I cut sort of like diagonally along halfway so that I can twist the piece of baking paper and press it in there, so that then I have these gorgeous kind of like cafe style muffin holders in a way. Hopefully this explains and shows like how to do them, but I definitely recommend it. It makes them so good, especially when you want to have a muffin on the go to take with you to work or to school. So to make the muffins, I put some plain flour, brown sugar, baking soda, and salt into a mixing bowl, and I whisk this together. Then I'm going to add in some soy milk as well as some apple cider vinegar, vanilla extract, and some melted vegan butter. And I'm going to mix this together until it's really nice and smooth. Now, when it comes to making banana choc chip muffins lately, instead of mashing the bananas, I've been really enjoying chopping them up and getting these beautiful chunks of banana through the muffin. I feel like it makes them so much more decadent and delicious. And yeah, I just love doing it this way now, even though it's a little more time consuming cutting it like this. But I cut up all the banana, then I'm also going to cut up the dark chocolate into small pieces before I transfer these, leaving a little bit of the chocolate so that I can put some of the chocolate on top. I'm going to mix this together well, and then it's time to disperse this between the muffins. I really like having like big cafe style muffins when I make muffins, so I made 6 today, but if you wanted to make smaller ones, this could honestly stretch to 10 or 12 muffins depending on what you would like to do. I top with some of the chocolate as well as a pinch of salt. I put these in the oven to bake for 35 minutes, and once they were done, I put them on the cooling rack to cool down. And of course, I had to enjoy one of these on the day of filming and prepping because how could I not? It was right in front of me and looked and smelled absolutely divine. Okay, so those banana choc chip muffins bring us to the end of my meal prep for the day and also to the end of today's video. I'm so excited for the week ahead now that I have all of this delicious food in the fridge ready to go, and I hope that after watching this you have at least one new meal idea to try out for yourself at home. As always, a big thank you for being here and supporting me and my YouTube channel. I appreciate it and you so very much. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!